Hello, Wayne. How's it going? It's Chris
Oh,
here.
good. Made a connection.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
Um, well, I'm a grid engineer,
Yeah.
and I run energy fields to help clear,
Yes.
and I've been in mode all morning.
Oh.
So I'm a little bit out of body,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
but I think
Sure.
I'm going to be able to do okay.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Talking will help.
Oh, fantastic. How long does it normally take for you to kind of come back within the body again after doing that engineering work?
Um, it varies. Sometimes I can just pop right back in a few minutes,
Yes.
and other times it takes me the rest of the day almost.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Depends how extreme it is. This morning wasn't too extreme. The more extreme it is, then the more recovery. Sometimes I don't even come back till a day or two afterwards
Wow.
if it's really brutal.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Far out. So do you use some of your own tools and stuff like that to help you? Like if for example you said it's a really difficult time and it takes a bit longer for you to come back into the body. Do you use your some of your tools to help you with that?
I'm surrounded by them.
Yeah.
When I usually have to either lay in the bathtub or in bed
Yes.
because difficult to stand.
Yeah.
Sitting
Sure.
up even is a challenge at times.
Wow. Wow.
So in my bed I have three rings and three beamers,
Wow. Wow. Oh,
and not to
nice.
mention what's already in the room around me. So
Yes.
like the room, my room is loaded.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
It's my sanctuary.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I find with geometry tools essentially is that because I'm speaking to you from my treatment room as well, where I treat clients and stuff. That I've got all these geometry tools all around me within this room, and you can definitely feel the effect, and it's like because they're consciousness tools. It's like they're speaking to you as well and giving you guidance all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Everything has consciousness.
yeah,
And to me, energy tools have greater consciousness.
yes,
That's why they're energy tools.
yeah, 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 sure, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So, Wayne,
yeah.
I wanted to start off by asking you about how you got started into making energy tools. And even if you'd like to talk about the energy engineering work that you do as well, it's up to you. But I'd just like to know how you got started in this kind of field.
Well, I've always been a really sensitive person. So if I get a buzz to do something, I follow that.
Yes.
And many years ago, I think it was 1985.
Wow.
I went for lunch, and in the entranceway to this vegetarian restaurant, there was a whole wall full of posters. And as I walked by it, which I did 2 or 3 times a week, I walked by it one day, and one of the posters grabbed me literally by the throat.
Yeah, got your
That's
attention.
what it felt like. And so I kept on going. I said, no, I'll meet you after lunch. So after lunch, I came back, and I came back to the same spot, and I
Yeah.
looked up, and there's this poster on pyramids,
Wow.
and there was a fella coming into town to do a workshop on pyramids,
Wow.
and my guides were very, very clear, you're going to be there. And then so I eventually I wanted to work with the guy. That didn't work out. So Spirit told me make your own pyramids. So then I always was a pyramid buff before that.
Yes.
So then I decided to make a few. And then I had a psychic lady phone me up out of the blue. I didn't know her. She
Okay.
just phones me up and says, I heard about you. And I go, okay. She says, well, you're going to be in the next psychic fair. And I go, with what? And she goes, well, with your pyramids. And I
Wow.
said, well, I don't even make them yet. I only made a few.
Yeah.
She goes, well, get on with it. And I said, no, basically impossible for me to do.
Yeah.
So she hounded me until I gave in, and then I went to my first psychic fair, and then the rest is history.
Wow.
That was like 35 years ago.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
1985.
Wow. It was always your calling to come and do this work.
So I've been doing subtle energy devices for that long now.
Yeah. Wow.
As a main income. Like I don't have a second job sort of thing.
No.
Grid engineering is my first job.
Yeah, sure.
Pyramids is my second job.
Yeah, definitely.
And then from the pyramids, then I learned about the Sanjeevani healing system.
Yes.
And in there they have the neutralization ring. Well, again, guidance said make one out of hard copy.
Yes.
Which means instead of a photocopy out of a book, this is going to be a brass device.
Yes.
That is silver soldered and then plated.
Yes.
With ultimately gold.
Yeah. Wow.
And so what I did is I called some people like you, and I said, Chris, write on a piece of paper, just draw a circle.
Yes.
And then draw some times. You don't have to count them, but around 24 of them.
Yes.
And have them go about a third of the way up, like a bicycle wheel.
Wow.
Into the hub.
Yeah.
And then okay, they do that, and I say, okay, now put your hand over it. They go, wow, my hand's tingling. I can really feel that. It's drawing, it's pulling energy. And I go, okay, I'm going to make them out of metal. Would you like to place an order? I sold a bunch of them before I actually made them.
Wow.
That's how the ring was for me. And then since then, I've made the broadcast version,
yes.
which means the 24 times go out
yes.
of the ring instead
yes.
of in.
Okay.
And then I also make a Divinity Ring, which we call it Divinity Ring. It's a circle with a cross in it.
Yes.
And every Virginian culture's got one.
Yeah,
yes. Their own name for it.
Yes. It's like some people call it like the.
After that, I started doing psychic fairs.
Okay.
So
yes.
That was my university. That's where I got educated, because each fair was an education on what it did. And being very sensitive, I could tell people what they were feeling,
yes.
even right off in the first fair.
Wow. So you were getting an idea of what they could do. Yeah.
I interfaced the pyramids with different gemstones. I'd buy a large rock stone and break it into smaller pieces around 2-3 grams.
Yes.
And then you could put that inside the pyramid and use it to modulate the field. And so what I would suggest people do is place the pyramid on its side with the wide part facing you and put that on your kitchen table. And then you have your food in between, your plate of food in between the pyramid and yourself.
Wow.
So you're broadcasting the energy of the pyramid system into the food.
Yes.
And what I would do is I would muzzle test people for their weakest chakra, and then pick a few stones, and then send them home, and then come back 3 months later, and then muzzle test them again for that chakra.
Yes.
And sometimes it would go to the strongest chakra.
Wow. Oh.
So what used to be your weakest chakra is now your strongest one.
Wow.
So that, and I got that pure from spirit. I didn't, read a book about it, sort of thing.
No.
I just did it, and it worked out really, really well.
Yes.
And I'd go do a fair, and I would have a full booth for virtually the whole time of the fair.
Wow.
Sometimes I'd have a full group waiting for me when the fair opened. We'd open the doors, and they'd all rush to my booth.
Well,
that's what it was like.
Wow.
It was crazy good.
Well, that's
so I couldn't turn my back on it and go look for something else to do.
Yeah.
That was my mission.
Wow.
So I've been doing that since then, and now I interface the rings with the pyramids.
Yes.
And make each one better.
Yeah. Well, it amplifies each other, I guess, doesn't it?
Sorry, I missed that.
I guess they amplify each other when you incorporate the rings within the pyramids.
Yeah, there's a synergism.
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 3.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and then what I did is I started measuring the bioenergy field of food. And what I found is that the pyramid, the beamer, and especially the rings,
Yes.
they were the hot tip because they were the least amount of money. Well, pyramid's fairly inexpensive, but beamers were in the $100 and some range.
Yes.
So a ring is much less. So with a sun ring and a neutralization ring in the 4-inch, you could put food on the neutralization ring for 3 seconds,
Yes.
and then take it off and then put it on the sun ring. And the bioenergy field would go from 9 to 12 feet.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, that for me, that's like, if you told me that, I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah,
I have a hard time with that. But I did it myself. And then Guidance had me eventually make an 8.7-inch
Yes.
ring, and then put the tines either in or out, or the cross.
Yes.
And when I used the 9-inch rings, I call them 9-inch just for rough.
Yes.
When we used that size of ring, the bioenergy field, I could get it to generally 20 feet minimum.
Wow. So even further.
Okay. Now, if you load the ring, what's very, very neat about the ring, especially the sun ring, is that the devices are all interactive. If you talk to them, you talk to the data of the device,
Yes.
you're going to get more out of it.
Yes.
And if you send your own, component, then it's a better healing system than the device by itself.
Yes.
So if I used some of my own energy to charge a plate of food, I could get the bioenergy field to like over 40 feet.
Wow.
Like you'd have to go out of the house. You'd have to go out of the house to measure it.
Wow.
Okay, and what's really neat is that if you're sensitive, you'll find that the meal sits really well.
Yes.
It tastes better. It digests better. You have it's because it's got a charge in it, so you don't use as much energy to process it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just is a lighter feeling. Instead of feeling heavy after you eat, a lot of times you'll feel lighter.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
From eating,
Wow.
which is the reverse of what we normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I kept on working with that idea of putting something in the ring to make it better.
Yes.
So what I discovered is that if you put in, for example, a vitamin C capsule into the sun ring,
Yes.
after clearing it and then charging it, and then you put it in the sun ring, and you charge some water or food or whatever, and then you muscle test for a glass of water, and then you charge it with the vitamin C, and you'll see that it's stronger.
Wow.
So, and then if I ask the question before I charge the glass of water, if I ask the question, do you have vitamin C vibration in this water? And then you muscle test, well, you get a flat no.
Yeah.
And then when you do the charging and the test again, obviously it tests positive.
Wow.
And if you were to compare muscle testing the vitamin C capsule against the charged water, the water was always better.
Yes. There we go.
Which is intriguing.
Yes, yes.
So actually, you get more. You wouldn't get the chemistry factor, but energetically, you would get more out of the water than you would out of the actual vitamin C capsule.
Wow.
So I took it to the next level, and I go, well, what if I don't have a vitamin C capsule and I just wrote it down on a piece of paper with my intent?
Yes.
Well, it turns out that works really well too. So what that means, if you know that you need some vitamin C, but don't have any or can't afford it or whatever,
Yes.
you can write it on a piece of paper with your intention and get the benefit.
Wow. Wow.
So that opens up a whole new vista.
Yes.
Then the next step in the journey was really discovering Sir Walter Russell and learning more about what he does with his take on the elements.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Walter Russell?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you look up at his periodic table, you
Yes.
see that he has 9 octaves,
Yes.
and the 64 elements, fit into one of the octaves.
Yes.
What I did is I went linear and I went vertical instead of linear.
Okay. Yeah.
So in other words, what I would do is say, while we speak, you can do this if you like. If you feel the iron that's in your body,
Yes.
it's at first octave.
Yes.
And what you can do is you tune into it,
Yes.
and ask it to raise, and you send the energy because your subconscious, your higher mind knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Go to the second octave of iron and just feel that in your body.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I can feel a shift there.
Yeah, you get a shot of energy, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Wow.
Okay, now there's 9 octaves. So you've just gone from 1 to 2, and you've got a nice upgrade.
Wow.
Well, when you download the 9th octave of iron, you don't even need iron. Not quite, because
Wow.
you still need some chemistry.
Yes.
But your ability to maintain a perfect iron balance in your body is way enhanced.
Wow.
And if you think you're short, you just ask your body, am I short? Or even if you're excess,
Yes.
then you put in on a piece of paper, raise to 9th octave or reduce amount so that it's perfect balance.
Wow.
And in his table, he's got 64 elements.
Yes.
Well, each element has a wisdom. So as you go up 9 octaves, you're going to get a sense of either masculinity or feminine,
Yes.
and also a consciousness.
Yes.
Now here's one for you. Cadmium.
Yes.
When you get to the high level of cadmium,
Yes.
higher levels, you start to feel that it's feminine.
Yes.
It's not a toxic heavy metal.
Yes.
And what it does is it brings the consciousness of the ability to receive love.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So imagine how you would be if you had all 64 elements and the right amount,
Yes.
because you need a little bit of everything, and the consciousness that would go along with each of those 64.
Wow.
To me, that process makes you realized.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that I've discovered a method of becoming realized.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
That gets
Now,
yeah.
when you
That gets me thinking because you incorporated noble gases within the beamer, didn't you, with one of your tools that you made?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's to do with
And
Walter
what I do
Russell, isn't
now
it?
is-
Yeah.
What I do now is I'll put in, say, helium,
Yes.
and I'll put in the consciousness of helium, and that may give me a better balance overall than if I was to take one of the elements of helium.
Ah, I see. Yep.
So,
Okay.
because remember, the inner gases are the primordial state of the elements.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just putting in hydrogen, for example, is a big event. I mean, if you do a good download of hydrogen into your ring,
Yes.
I mean, you can feel that in your body.
Yes.
You can feel all of them if you're sensitive.
Yeah.
But hydrogen's profound because it got a lot.
Yeah. Regarding hydrogen, Wayne, when we think about cosmically about, like they always say, with mainstream science that it's the most abundant element there is out. The stars are made out of hydrogen. So I sense when, funnily enough, you mentioned hydrogen, I've got a mineral chart which I go to, and quite often hydrogen comes up, and I place that with a note of hydrogen, or write on a piece of paper using your sun ring, and it's incredible energy. So what do you have to say about hydrogen in regards to that?
Well, what you can do is, what you're doing is great.
Yeah.
where I would go with that is now bring hydrogen to the first octave,
Yes.
as you would start,
Okay.
and then raise it. Go to second, third, fourth. Now, I'm going to give you another little idea to work with.
Yes.
Is we are human beings with a human template,
Yes.
but we're multidimensional.
Yes.
So we have a galactic human template, and we also have a cosmic or universal human template.
Yes. Okay.
So the way that because everything's in 9,
Yes.
so the first 3 octaves work with your human template. So first octave is actually your body.
Yes.
Second is the earth. And third octave is the solar system.
Yes. Wow.
Now, fourth octave, when you download the fourth octave of iron, it's way better than the first 3.
Yes.
Because you've jumped in grids. You've gone to the galactic grid.
Yes.
And now you're in galaxy rather than solar system.
Wow.
And then fifth octave is multiple galaxy. 6th octave is all the galaxies.
Wow.
And of course, once you've done all the galaxies, then you go to 7, and now you're in the universe.
Yes.
And 8 is the multiverses,
Yes.
and 9 is the omniverses.
Wow.
Well, when you download 9, and then from there you go to source.
Yes.
So if you can go all the way up and go right to source, well, then you can resonate source from source of any of the elements.
Wow.
And when you feel the source of any one of those elements, you're now directly connected to source with a quite a direct connection.
Yes.
So you can pop source into your consciousness very easy once you do it the first time, just with any element.
Okay.
So pick one. Boys are better on zinc, and girls are better on iron.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But
Wow.
for right now, a good one to do is actually arsenic.
Yes. Okay.
And obviously, arsenic in a bit of a quantity, it will kill you at the lower level.
Yes.
But in the right quantity, at the higher level,
Yeah.
it's an astounding stimulant for your immune system.
Wow.
If you want to become immune to virtually everything,
Yes.
you just go to at least the 6th octave of arsenic.
Wow. Wow.
And I like to, if I'm going to write down arsenic, I write down 2nd octave arsenic, true and pure.
Okay. Yep.
Now, when I say the word pure, I check to see that it is pure.
Yes.
Because we all have consciousness that isn't absolutely pure. So when I download, I want purity. So I will go out of my way to get purity.
Sure.
And when I discover impurity, then I look for something to clear.
Wow.
So within our own beingness, at one of the 3 templates, we will have an aberration or some sort of negative charge. So you want to remove that charge to get a pure signal. So you're better off to have a pure 2nd octave than a messy 3rd one.
Yeah, fair enough too. Yep. Yep. No, I understand that. And obviously, it's better to obviously go step by step, go from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and leading up to the 9, not like jumping from 1 all the way up to 9, for example.
Yeah. What I did is I did probably a couple dozen elements, and I would get up to like the 6th octave when I first started.
Yes.
And I could do a reasonably good job. But then when I did a lot of them, I realized that, like obviously magnesium, sodium, calcium, and potassium are the first major ones you want to do.
Yes.
And what I found is that dark forces would come in and mess with my potassium particularly.
Ah, okay.
So even though you may have done a good job today, if you had an event, a negative one, then you might have to go and clear it again.
Yes, I see.
And then as you go higher in consciousness, you can't clear 9 if you haven't cleared 3.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And your indicator that you are clear is if I ask you to resonate the 2nd octave of iron, and you do that, when it's pure, you will automatically go to 3. You will just feel yourself lifted up, and you'll just slide into the 3rd octave.
Yeah, I
If
see.
you don't do that, it's because 2 is not clear yet.
Yes, I see. Yep.
So if you don't get that lift up, you're not done. And I just ask, am I 100% clear in 2nd octave? If the answer is yes, well then you can go for the lift up.
Wow.
But if it's no, well then you're not going to.
Yes.
And there's no point trying to go further when you're in mud at a lower level.
Yes, true. Yeah.
You
Very
build
true.
precept upon precept, step upon step.
Yes.
You can't. There's no shortcut
Wow.
in cosmic school.
Yeah, that's right. It's all
If
a
you
process.
can't resonate it, you can't do it.
Yeah, very much. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow, that's very
I'd
interesting.
like to talk. Yeah, so that it opens up. What's so fascinating, Chris,
Yes.
is that you discover you every day.
Yes.
That is what's so neat, because you didn't know you had 2nd octave of iron
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
this call.
Yeah.
Now you've got a whole plethora of parts of you that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very
And
true.
you can kinetically access them. You can go there now.
Yes.
And it forces you to clear
Yes.
and become more clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
realized.
Yeah. And I think it's all about
Which is good, because-
realizing your true power as well, isn't it? Really?
Well, we have it, but we have to accept it and unlock it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like you got the keys to a car, it's in your driveway, but there's no gas in it.
Yes.
So you got to find some gas.
Yes.
Okay, you got to find something kinetically to launch you.
Yes.
And to me, that's what the rings and Sir Walter Russell's understanding. Those two together are like being on the rocket launch pad.
Yeah.
And there is no limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's
Wow.
neat.
Yeah.
And then if you hurt somewhere, well, then you can address it. Let's say you've got a virus.
Yes.
It's popular these days, it seems. So let's say you have a virus. Well, now you can treat it how many ways? You've got all kinds of things that you can put into the ring and make your food better. And instead of running for a drug,
Yes.
use natural things. Well, what can you put in the ring? Well, you got a limit of your pen and paper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very
and
true.
your creativity.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So anything that possibly would work, and it's only energy. So if your body doesn't need it or doesn't want it, it's not going to take it.
Yeah, so it's very safe, isn't it?
So you can't
Can't go
hurt
wrong.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not going to hurt yourself.
yeah, yeah. And that's the biggest problem
And,
about pharmaceuticals.
Obviously,
Yeah, the side effects.
there's no side effects with this
Yeah.
because you're not taking chemistry that's partially no good for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and essentially, even from the chemistry, what are you getting? You're getting the energy from it, and then you're taking what you don't want, which is, the waste, if you will.
Yes.
Well, it's just the part you didn't want.
Yeah,
or don't
that's
need.
true. That's true.
So, getting energy directly, it to me is superior than, some, drug-oriented consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Make your food your medicine. And if you can have food that gives you a bioenergy field of 20 feet, it's medicine, let me tell you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's what you can do, is if you knew that you needed, say, uva ursi for your spleen
Yes.
and liver, let's say you determined that by muscle test or something,
Yes.
and you don't have any access. Well, you can write it down on a piece of paper, uva ursi, pure and true, and then charge a meal with it.
Yes.
And muscle test before and after that meal for your spleen's energy level. And you'll see that it improved after eating that meal.
Wow.
So it cost you nothing.
Yes.
You had to eat anyway.
Yes.
And it didn't take much of your time or energy or effort to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yes.
You didn't run to
It's
anybody
empowerment,
to
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
to save you or fix you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's
So,
all. That's what we need more of in the world today, I think.
Yeah, we need to wake up and be empowered.
Yeah, yeah,
You can, physician, heal thyself.
yeah.
I think is what Jesus said. Yeah, I like that line.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah, that's a good one.
Take responsibility for where you're at.
Yeah, yeah,
And everything is energy, so everything can be corrected.
yes,
If you change the energy, you'll change the manifestation of the mass.
yes,
So what's required is the intelligence to change the energy.
yes,
Well, the first step of that is intent. And the second step is direct. Where are you going to direct the energy? Well, with the rings, you can direct it directly onto the body or into the food.
yes, yeah,
So if you've got a sore knee, you can put the rings on the knee. First you take the neutralization ring
yes,
and you put it on your knee. And if it's sore, it's because there's an attachment.
yes,
So if you take the neutralization ring and turn it slowly, counterclockwise, for about 2, sometimes 3 turns, and 95% of the time, that attachment will be gone.
wow.
And the sensitive people will just, their eyes will look up and they'll go, wow, I felt that.
Yeah,
It's better already.
yeah,
So I'll do a demonstration in a group, and people are shocked that in 2 or 3 turns of that ring, which takes you like 10 seconds,
yeah,
and they are noticeably commenting, I feel better already.
far out.
So that's step 1, is removing the attachment, and the neutralization ring does that well. You can sweep the area with the neutralization ring as well, just by running it up and down, across the area.
Yes,
And you can do that on the flat, and then you do it again at 90 degrees.
okay, yep,
And then if you move out up to about a foot, and then up to about 3 feet, and you do sweeps with the neutralization ring, you'll clear your auric field quite significantly. In fact, the demo that I do is I'll have somebody hold both arms out
yes,
and ask them how heavy they feel,
yes,
and then let them down, and then I run the neutralization ring down one arm 3 or 4 times, 5 times, and then you lift your arms up again, and you see the one that's not done is heavy and the one that's done is lighter. And then you use the sun ring and charge the one that's been cleared, and then it's lighter again. Then if you take, I'm using 4-inch rings.
yes,
Then if you do the right arm first, then I'll take on the left arm, I'll take the 9-inch rings. I'll do the neutralization and first, and then the sun.
yes,
And then what that does is it shows that the 9-inch rings are stronger, because when you lift your arms up, now the right hand arm is a lot lighter.
wow, right, yes,
Yeah. So it shows you how well each one works,
yes,
and why the 9-inch ones. If you can afford 9-inch ones, that's the way to go, because they're so much better.
yes,
If you place a 9-inch sun ring on the wall opposite your bed in the bedroom,
yes,
your room is going to be like in sunshine,
yeah,
24/7.
wow, lovely,
I had one of my dealers get some rings. They were new. So she came around and bought, I think, maybe 2 or 3 orders. And then on the 3rd order, she comes back and she says, I need an extra one today. I forgot to tell you that I went and slept at my dad's place last night. And I told him that the rings were good. And he says, oh, okay, what do they do? And he says, well, I'll just take one in my bedroom and see how well it helps me sleep.
yeah,
So in the morning, she's going to leave, and she goes, oh, Dad, I need my ring. And he goes, get lost. He says, you go buy yourself another ring. He says, I just had the best sleep of my whole life.
wow,
And he isn't the only one. I go to a restaurant, and I told the lady there who owns it, I said, these rings help you sleep, because she was complaining. And so I went back the next time, and I go, the rings are good? She goes, yeah. Sleeping better? Yeah.
yeah, There's validation for you. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so,
So
yeah, yeah. So, Wayne, we've talked about the neutralization and the sun ring, and I agree. The sun ring there's so many things you can do with the sun ring because it broadcasts, intent, crystals, as you say, increases the field of your food and makes all the nutrients more available. What about the Divinity Ring? Can you talk about the Divinity Ring, what that does?
okay. Well, it's got the 4 sections, right?
Yes,
So, um, depending on where you want to put your consciousness,
yes,
the 4 sections can mean energy,
yes,
um, energy and time,
yes,
space,
yes.
and momentum.
Okay.
And when you put those 4 things together, you harmonize them in the ring as a
Yes,
consciousness
yes.
and place the ring on your body somewhere, you will balance to those 4 consciousnesses
Ah,
at a much higher level.
wow.
Okay? So a lot of people decide they want to do something, okay, then the time is now,
Yes.
the space is here, I'd like to do it, there's the energy, but, and when you say but, you just nuked the momentum section.
Ah,
Because
yes.
if you don't have momentum, you're not going anywhere.
Yes,
It's
very
just
true.
plain pie in the sky, wishful thinking. So those 4 are relevant for projects. Now, the other way that I was using them before that was uh, electrical field,
Yes,
magnetic field,
yes,
electromagnetic field,
yes.
although I reverse it. Magneto-elect, actually, your body receives it way differently. Instead of saying electromagnetic, it's backwards. It should be magneto-electric.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
So magneto-electric, electric, magnetic, and the 4th one is resonance.
Okay.
And we all work primarily from electrical consciousness.
Yes.
If you don't have a magnetic field for the electricity to be operational in, if this magnetic field is weak, then the electric field doesn't really go anywhere.
Ah, I see.
I don't know how to describe it better than that. It's just that your heart puts out an electrical field and a magnetic field. The magnetic field is it's many times more powerful than the electrical field.
Okay, yep.
So if you want to heal something in your body, you need to build up the electrical field, but first the magnetic field.
I see.
And then electromagnetic. And then when you focus on resonance, that ties everything together and it will trump anything.
Wow.
So in other words, if you're weak electrically, you build up your resonant field and the electrical field will balance out. Resonance is like an ace trump card. Okay?
Nice.
So what I do is you place the Divinity Ring right on the solar plexus chakra point
Yes.
and with the crosshairs right on it.
Ah, yeah. Yep.
And then you just lay down and place it there and ask for the 4 forces to balance within your body.
Wow.
And in a minute or 2, like, you're way different.
Yes.
Like,
Wow.
lots different. In
Wow.
just like a minute.
Wow.
So if you do 1 ring on the floor and then 1 ring on your stomach while you're laying down,
Yes.
that double whammy is a lot more powerful.
Yes.
Another way to use the Divinity Ring is, well, there's several, is if you place a Divinity Ring on the floor
Yes.
and then with your ankle bones crossing one of the 90, one
The
of the
cross
lateral,
points, yeah.
the
Yep.
lateral bar
Yep.
on the cross, so that it points to your ankle bones.
Okay.
Then the center point of the Divinity Ring is right below your spine.
Yep. I see.
And if you place it there, you will feel your first chakra start revving up.
Yes.
And then it will bounce and go up your second and third and fourth, and it connects them to each other.
Ah, I see.
That is big.
Yeah.
Because when you're together, you're using all the consciousnesses from the 7 chakras in
Yes.
the body, at least.
Yes.
You're using them together instead
Yes.
of just mental or just intuitive or just creative. This wires them together, and I mean like electrically wires them together.
Yes.
So that it's so powerful that you go all the way up to your sixth, to your pineal.
Yes.
And when you feel it open, then what I do is I place a second divinity ring about a foot above the head,
Yes.
lined up with the bottom one, and then you hold it there, and then you'll feel 7 open up,
Yes.
and then you'll have a little buzzing going on the top of your head,
Yes.
and you will have one of the 1,000-petal lotuses. It will pop. Usually takes about 2 minutes for most people,
Yes.
and it will pop out of your head and direct wire you into your 8th chakra,
Wow.
which is the Christos field.
Yeah. Wow.
So I asked this one guy, because I did a show, and he shows up, and I was with about 5 or 6 ladies, and they were all talking and asking questions, and then my friend Daryl shows up, and he's a ways away, and I looked at him, and he saw me, and so I waved, and I said, come on over. He came there to see me anyway, but so he comes, and I said, Daryl, have I seen you in 3 months? And he goes, nope. And he says, I said, okay, these ladies have a question for you. He goes, oh, okay. I said, well, what is different since you had your Divinity Ring initiation?
Yes.
And he just looks up at the sky and he goes, oh, he's shaking his head and he's standing there and he can't think of anything to say.
Yeah.
And finally, after about maybe 30 seconds of silence, he says, everything.
Wow.
Everything
Everything.
changed.
Wow.
I look with different eyes.
Yeah.
And I said, well, when you start working from Christ consciousness instead of ego consciousness, even though it looks like it's harmonic and it's all well, we're human beings,
Yes.
it's still not in a state of love.
Yes.
Okay,
True.
so when we get to that point where we make that connection, just one, our life changes. What's fun is you can go with spiritual guidance telling you it's time for you to do number 2
Yes.
or number 3.
Yep.
So you grab the rings again and you set yourself up
Yes.
and you pop another one.
Yeah.
And the more you do, the more you're able to hold that Christos field.
Yes. Wow. Wow, that sounds
Okay.
amazing. Yeah.
I don't know of any other device that can hardwire you into your 8th chakra.
Yes.
And then when you've got 8, you're now in spirit land, so you can connect to 9, 10, 11, and 12 a lot easier if you've got the big jump between 7 and 8 looked after.
Yes.
And word of caution is I would suggest if you're going to do that, don't do that with the 9-inch rings to start with.
Yes.
I do make a 9-inch divinity ring.
Yes.
I wouldn't start with it. I would use the 4-inch to get yourself
Used to
going
that energy,
with
yeah.
1.
Yes.
And 1 is all you want because that already is a big adjustment to your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you've got maybe 5 or 10 or 20 done,
Yes.
then you might consider a 9-inch event.
I see.
And I would use one 9-inch ring on the floor and a 4-inch on the top.
Yeah.
And then when you've got a few more done and you're doing all right, then I would consider doing 2 9-inch rings.
I see.
Because what happens there is I did 2 9-inch rings once, and I did about 50.
Whew.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, like, I had, if you do like 5, I've done situations where people have done like 4 or 5, and you have to hold them up after that event.
Yeah.
Like, they have to sit down. It's not a question of whether you can sit down or not. No, you're sitting down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a seriously altering event.
Wow.
So I get people call me up and say, I can't believe how strong your rings are. And they go, me neither. I just make them. I don't know how they get that way. Now, one thing that you can understand now is the gold that's on the devices
Yes.
is, and all the metals, I raise them up to the 4th octave.
Okay, I see.
So if you get a ring from me, the gold itself is already vibrating higher than you're used to, and all you got to do is touch it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So the new ones are all 4th octave gold.
So, Wayne, I see that, especially with, say, for example, 2 4-inch varieties of Divinity, would you recommend if you went that you'd get the platinum one and the gold one together to have the subtle differences with that?
In the 4-inch,
Yeah.
see, do you know what a nodal point is?
Yes.
Okay, so you're coming from the universal energy network and you're coming from one level to the next.
Yes.
Down. Well, there's a specific spot to go from one level to the next level down.
Yes.
And that spot is a nodal point. A 4-inch ring is not on a nodal point. So it has geometry, it has resonance, it has consciousness, but it's not on a nodal point.
Okay, I see.
So you can use a platinum and a gold. But if you go to the 9-inch one,
Yes.
it is on the 9-inch ring, 8.7, is on the nodal point. And if you use 2 different rings
Yes.
to go through one nodal point, it's like trying to go through 2 different doors at the same time.
I see.
Because they're slightly different in resonance. So they make you scattered.
Yes.
I can't even hold them together.
Wow.
Like if you have a platinum in a 9-inch and a gold in a 9-inch,
Yes.
you want to get rid of one of them.
Wow.
Because it's like trying to shove yourself through 2 doors at the same time. It
just
doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
I've always wanted to know that.
I don't make a 9-inch platinum.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, also, the sun ring, if you place it on an amplifier, a stereo amplifier,
Yes.
or speakers, or you wrap a single wrap from one of the speaker wires
Yes.
around the sun ring, all of those will improve the sound.
Wow.
And on my stereo, I have about probably 25 rings, thereabouts.
Yes.
Quite a few of them are 9-inch. And my stereo sounds amazing.
Yeah.
The sound goes through you as much as you hear it.
Wow.
So the first thing that people notice about my stereo is the music penetrates your body. It doesn't hit your body, it goes through your body. It's way different. Okay, and then if you put some, like if you put like say a nutritional supplement in the sun ring,
Yes.
It'll broadcast through your stereo.
Wow.
So it's a way to bypass assimilation by digestion.
Yeah.
Works
Wow.
quite well. Some things actually improve the sound, others diminish the quality of the sound.
I see.
You'll still get the charge,
Yes.
but it won't help the audio side.
Okay.
Where some things do.
Yes.
I've got one capsule called AGE, and when I put 2 capsules in the sun ring, it sounds better.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
So now, if you use sun rings, they work well.
Yes.
Sun rings will give you a really broad and a more profound stage effect. The Divinity Ring will give you more definition, but it will lose some of the broadness of the stage effect, but it'll go higher.
Ah.
So it increases the height rather than the horizontal.
Yes.
So what I've done, what works on this particular set of audio equipment, because different ones do different things,
Yes.
I learned. On my system, a combination of Sun Ring and Divinity Ring, so the amplifier has a Divinity Ring on below it and a Sun Ring on the top of it.
I see. Yep.
Okay, and that I like that for the overall best.
Yes.
And then my old system, I got a new amplifier and a couple new pieces, and my new system does not like Shungite.
All right. Okay.
It loses a lot when I put Shungite around it.
I see.
The old system I had, and it's same manufacturer of amplifier, which is bizarre, but anyways, my old Cambridge loved the Shungite. The more Shungite I put there, the better it was.
Yes.
But the new amplifier is a completely different design, and it does not like Shungite.
Ah, wow. Interesting.
And Shungite, in my opinion, is the number one stone to use. If you're going to put an intention,
Yes.
papers, you're good because it's easy and simple, but it's leaf case. Like it'll work well, but there's other things that work better.
Yes.
And if you want to improve, then go to Shungite would be my next step up.
Yes.
And then if you have the actual vitamin C, that would be better.
Yes.
But and I don't mean ascorbic acid. I mean real vitamin C.
Yeah, sure. So you place the intent of, say, vitamin C in the Shungite and then place it in the ring? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing you can do is we know that 440 is what our music is tuned to.
Yes.
Which is bad, right?
Yes.
So what you can do, I have one note in my stereo that says, reset audio system to 432 hertz scale.
Wow.
True. And it sounds, you can hear the smoothness improves, the definition improves. It's just a nice warmer sound.
Wow, lovely.
It's like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how are you going to correct that? You buy all your music, it comes in at 440.
Yeah.
Well, with a sunring, you can fix that.
Yeah.
At least to a degree.
I listen to a lot of music, so that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I got one more thing on the Divinity Ring that's kind of mind-boggling. Yeah. A friend of mine makes a fantastic fertilizer.
Okay.
And so he sent me some, and I worked with it for a month or so, and I got a good idea of what it was doing for my plants.
Yes.
And I had only charged it with the sun ring and neutralization ring, clear it and charge it with the sun ring and put a few signatures in it. And,
yes.
And good to go. Put some oxygen in it. Then what I decided one night is that I would take the fertilizer and throw it on a Divinity Ring. So it's already been charged and prepared, but I just added the Divinity Ring. And then I sprayed the plants that were just outside my patio door.
Yes.
A big planter.
Yeah.
And this was around 8 o'clock at night. So go to bed, get up the next morning and make my smoothie in the morning, and I open the patio door and look out, and I look at the planter, and my jaw drops. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I go, did I not take a good look last night? Because these plants are like way bigger.
Yes.
Like they are clearly bigger and standing as prim and pretty as you could possibly even be.
Yes.
And so I go, okay, maybe I'm just imagining this because this was overnight. It's dark.
Wow.
They don't usually grow that much.
Nah, not that fast.
So then my wife comes out 10 minutes later. She rolls the door open and she goes, whoa, what did you do with this planter? I said, I had the same reaction, Heather. Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't believe my eyes. She goes, no, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. So here's the hot tip.
Yes.
Is I tune in, I ask guidance, I said, why does the Divinity Ring work that good?
Yes.
And the answer was oxygen. And it seems to do something to stimulate the oxygen. Okay, so I know how I can test that because I happen to have some oxygen in the acetylene tanks.
Yes.
So what I did is I had a guy working for me, and I just said, I want to do a little experiment here. So keep on welding. He was making some rings.
Yes.
I said, keep on welding, but I'm going to do a little adjustment here to the tanks. I want to see if you notice any difference. So I put a couple of Divinity Rings around the oxygen tank.
Yeah. Wow.
And came back about an hour later, and his name is Chris too.
Oh,
I said, Chris, did you notice any difference? He goes, oh yeah. And I said, what? He says, well, I had to turn the oxygen down about a third.
Wow.
He said the welds are better. It's smoother welding.
Wow.
It just, the solder flows better.
Yes.
And so I'm going a little faster, and I had to cut back the oxygen by a third.
Wow.
Okay, so then I go over to my little ozone machine.
Yes.
And I stick on a Divinity Ring.
Yes.
First, I breathe the ozone, and I know how hard it is to breathe.
Yes.
And then I put the ring on it, go back and breathe it again. You can take way different breaths.
Wow.
It's really harsh. Breathing ozone's harsh.
Yes.
It softened it up unbelievable.
Wow.
So it clearly, I've done 3 tests to see, what the difference was. All 3 are profound difference.
Yes.
From a Divinity Ring.
Oh my God! Wow.
So, the Divinity Ring and oxygen are just like they go together.
Yes. Yes.
So if anybody's got one of those oxygen separators.
Yes.
Breathing that all day is hard. It's hard to do.
Yes.
Because it's just a really dry, hard air, and this makes it like nothing, like normal air.
Wow. So in regards to using
of course you get more absorption.
Yeah. So in regards to using the Divinity Ring, do you just place it underneath it just for a few seconds, or do you leave it on there and tape it to it?
You have to leave it. You have to leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to leave it there.
Yeah.
You have to dedicate it.
Yes.
In fact, what I do is like on a machine, a pair of rings always works better.
Yes.
Rule of thumb.
Yes.
So me having usually have a stock, so I'll just grab a pair when I'm going to go do something.
Yeah. I see.
So one above the machine, one below, and it works amazing better.
So, for example, in regards to its oxygen activating qualities, the Divinity Ring, for example, for people, because I'm obviously working on clients that have got sometimes respiratory system problems. Can you recommend maybe putting a Divinity Ring underneath your bed, so while you're sleeping at night, it's working on your oxygen in the body or your respiratory system, perhaps?
Yeah. No. Now you're thinking. Anywhere that there's an oxygen issue, the Divinity Rings are going to help. You just have to figure out how to exactly apply it to your situation.
Okay.
And if I had an oxygen bottle and I was dragging it around with me, it would have 2 Divinity Rings on it.
Yeah.
If I'm laying in bed and I'm just breathing the air, then I'd have a Divinity Ring up on my chest and one on my back.
Wow. Yeah. Very good idea. Yeah. Wow.
And then what you can do is you can still put pieces of paper with your intent.
Yes.
In the Divinity Ring.
Yep.
Okay.
I see.
So if you say now, and instead of saying improve my oxygen, say no, bring my oxygen up to whatever level you're at.
Yes.
So if you're starting at 1, bring it up to the second octave of oxygen.
There we go.
Already you're doing better because of that.
Wow.
See, and then once you've assimilated that and you're resonating second level, then go to third. And you can't over oxygenate energetically.
Yes.
You can, breathing.
Yes.
But not energetically.
No.
Because your body won't take any more than see, it works on the battery principle.
Yes.
If you're deficient, then I can put something there and you'll receive it.
Yes.
But if you got the same charge as I do, nobody's moving.
Yes, I see. Yep.
So if your oxygen is 100%, you're probably not going to absorb it because it's a charge.
Yes.
And if you're already charged, you're not going to overcharge.
Well, that's a great That was something I was going to ask you, Wayne. Was when, for example, going back to that idea of writing vitamin C on a piece of paper and placing it, say, within the sun ring, that it's only going to give you the amount of vitamin C that your body requires at that time. Is that correct?
It will give you, if you listen to, say, one track.
Yes.
And get the vitamin C vibration.
Yes.
That may be enough.
Yes.
If you keep doing it,
yeah,
then your body is going to eventually, if you were to do 50 tracks and your body only wanted, say, 5,
yes,
well, then it wouldn't receive the other ones.
Yes.
You would focus on something else in the music.
Yes. Yes.
You follow?
True. Yes.
Because music is all vibration coming at you, and if you've got enough of one, your body's going to assimilate the ones you don't have.
Yes.
See, in the beamer with the inert gases, you've got all of the elements contained in those inert gases.
Yes.
So if you need calcium, then your body's going to draw calcium as long as you're deficient.
Yeah, I see.
And if you're not deficient, there's no potential energy difference. Like I say, if you hooked up a weak battery and a strong battery, once they become even, there's no flow anymore.
I see. Yep.
It's there, but you're just not receiving it.
Yes. Wow.
You see?
Yeah.
It's like the weak battery, and once it's charged, it's not going to take any more. It's not going to overcharge.
No, that's right. So you can't go wrong, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, you'll get tired of listening to music. Your body will say, "Okay, that's enough already."
Yeah.
So, because it's still energy.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can't OD in general, as a general sense, but
Yes.
not. And if you're deficient in something to begin with,
Yes.
it takes a while to OD.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you're weak. You're not doing good there.
No.
So for you to see what you want to do, think of everything in terms of structure.
Yes.
When you've got an orange and it's right picked off the tree, the structuring in the orange, the water
Yes.
in the orange is structured 100%.
Yes.
Now it's 4 days old. Well, it's not 100% anymore.
No.
Then it's 30 days old. Well, this lost most of its structuring. So that's indicating its vitality.
Yes.
So when your cell has cancer, it has no structuring in the water.
No.
When it's vital, it has full structuring.
Yes.
And by the way, structuring goes 32 layers deep.
Wow.
So why are the rings so good? I can tell you why. Because the 4-inch rings will go 9 layers deep.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
When you consider magnets and crystals and a lot of those things, they're like 2-3 layers deep.
Yes.
The beamer, I was for 25 years because it went 5 layers deep.
Yes.
And then when I started making the sun ring, and I threw it in the bathtub for the first time, and my wife came by the bathroom door, and I said, "Heather, come here." She goes, "What?" And she opens the door, and she just says, "What did you do in here?" And I said, "Yeah, I threw in a 9-inch. I threw in a 4-inch sun ring that I just made."
Yeah.
She goes, "Wow, this room is just rocking."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, here's what I get. It goes 9 layers of structuring."
Wow.
Okay. Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
So then I make the 9-inch rings, 8.7s,
Yes.
and I test them, and they go 22.
Wow.
22 layers out of 32.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so when you say reset, restructure, you have meaning behind it. You've
Yes.
got push behind it when
Yes.
you use a 9-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
the 9-inch for me is like it's an astounding ring.
Yes.
what it
Yes.
does.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And you put one on a wall. Like I say, you put it on the wall in a room,
Yes.
and it fills the room with a negative ion charge.
Yes.
It lights up the room like they put the sun on.
Yeah. Wow.
You've done that.
Unbelievable. Wow. That's incredible.
Just hang one on the wall somewhere, and then walk into that room, and then go out into the other rooms, and you'll see how much better that room is.
Yes. Oh, nice. Very nice. So Wayne, you mentioned the beamer a couple of times there. So I'd like you to talk about the beamer and how you use the beamer, and also notice that you've got a couple of tools that you incorporate the beamer in a pyramid design. If you could talk about that, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, my it's got it all device
Yes.
is a triple pyramid
Yes.
with a beamer in it
Yes.
and a sun ring in the bottom, a beamer and the sun ring in the bottom pyramid.
I see. Yep.
And what it does, and then in the middle pyramid, I put a crystal,
Yes.
like a little sphere,
Yes.
and in the top pyramid, I put in a Shungite pyramid.
Yep. Yep.
And if you Okay. Now, if you place that on a register, like in the wintertime, it's cold,
Yes.
and you get that dry, awful air from the furnace.
Yes. Yep.
Place that device on the register in the room,
Yes.
and in about 10 seconds, the room will be drastically charged with
Wow.
negative ions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've had ozone machines, many, negative ion generators, many, and hydroxyl machines. I've had all kinds of air purifiers.
Yes.
My favorite air purifier is the triple pyramid system.
Wow.
It feels the healthiest and most natural.
Wow.
Okay, and all you have to do is put some air through it,
Yes.
and it's an amazing air conditioner.
Ah. Wow.
Now, the triple pyramid and Beamer is better
Yes.
because it gives you lots more bandwidth.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so, but a triple pyramid by itself
Yes.
is an amazing device to ground.
Yes.
Most people, I say, before you can fix anything, you need to be grounded
Yes.
to be able for it to happen.
Yes.
Okay, and most people are not grounded at all. And I go, "You've never been grounded." And the odd person will say, "Oh yeah, I have," and I'll say, "Mm-mm, you don't
No.
know what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
And then what I do is I take the pyramid
Yes.
triple, and I put it on an edge so that it's a 45-degree angle, a
Yes.
foot away from your feet,
Okay.
and the wide part of the bottom pyramid is aimed basically a foot below your feet,
All right. Yep.
which is your zero chakra.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll put it there, and then I look at the person and I'm smiling, and then they start smiling, and then they start going woo, and then they go, "Oh wow!" And I said, "Okay, now are your feet like nailed to the floor?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm nailed to the floor now."
Yeah.
I said, "So you've never been grounded like that, have you?"
Yeah. 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 Wow. Wow. Wow.
And if you know electronics, you can't have a circuit doing anything unless you have a ground connection.
That's right. Yeah.
Same for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And where do you get rid of your negative energy? In your zero chakra.
Yes.
And most people's zero chakra, I'll do a fair,
Yes.
and I'll say, "Okay, would you like to be grounded?" And they go, "No, I am." And I go, "No. Your zero chakra is about 4 feet away from you."
Yeah.
They go, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." So I'll place the triple pyramid there, and in about 5-10 seconds, you can just feel it creeping back,
Yes.
and then it goes ka-chink. They go, "Now, do you see what it feels like when it's home?"
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to feel like.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, that's grounded.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I don't know of any other device or tool or rock or anything that will ground you better than a triple pyramid
Ah.
in like 2 minutes.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
No waiting. Now, if you take that, then once you've done that grounding, then you take the triple pyramid, Beamer if you like,
Yes.
and then sweep about 6 inches away from the body,
Okay.
sweep up, starting and put the so that the bottom pyramid is basically parallel with your body,
Yes.
because it's not 45 degrees anymore.
Okay.
It's parallel, and then you just run up the front of the body,
Yes.
and you finish at about 1.5 feet over the head.
Yes.
And when you sweep to the left
Yes.
the first time, and then you do it again, and you sweep to the right, and then the third time you sweep straight up the middle. And then you go and do the back, so we'll have the person standing, and then you do their back, same way, 3 strokes,
Yes.
and then you do sideways, so you go on say the left side, and you do a zigzag, starting from the feet, all the way up to the head,
Yes.
and then you do left side and then right side. When you've done that, those all 4 sides of the body, then say, "Okay, do you feel different?" And they just laugh. "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I can't believe what I feel like." And the reason is because the triple pyramid will put you into your Merkaba,
Right. Okay. Yes.
not your Merkaba
Okay.
or Merkaba. It's Merkaba,
Ah. Interesting.
which is the third body.
Yes.
So now you can actually sense what it's like to be up into that cosmic template.
Yes.
Remember
Wow.
we talked about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the triple pyramid doing what I just described,
Yes.
will put you into your Merkana, and it will give you a egg-shaped auric field.
Wow.
And if you're in the city near a cell tower, you don't have any hope of having an egg-shaped aura.
No. No.
It doesn't happen.
Yes.
Okay, so when you do that procedure, you'll have it, and it'll likely be the first time you ever experienced it.
Yes.
This generation that we're in now, and the last generation, with all the cell phones,
Yes.
they don't know what it's like to have an egg-shaped auric field.
No.
They never experienced it because the electrical fields are too strong to actually let it happen.
Wow.
So that's another thing to do with the triple pyramid.
Okay.
And the beamer by itself
Yes.
is it's a non-invasive acupuncture tool.
Yes.
So if you do sweeps with the triple pyramid, you're blowing open all your meridians.
Yes.
But if you want to work on a liver meridian and each specific acupuncture point,
Yes.
then you can use the tip of the beamer like you would normally use needles.
Ah. Wow. Wow. A needleless.
Only you don't have
Yeah.
no needles.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And it'll probably work faster too.
Yes.
And my beamer has Shungite on it.
Okay. Yes.
In fact, it has a Shungite sphere on the back end of it,
Yes.
about a 4 centimeter one,
Yes.
and then about a 3 centimeter quartz sphere on top of that.
I see.
And then I have at the front of the beamer, I got two pyramids horizontally opposed,
Yes.
and then I got a Shungite wand as well.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I call a loaded beamer.
Yeah.
And you can give somebody an eye treatment with that
Yes.
anywhere. Just work around your eyes anywhere, and you give them I say this statement:
Yes.
I can make your eyes better in less than 5 minutes.
Oh.
Because no one's ever taken 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever taken 5 minutes to improve their eyes.
Yes.
Usually 1 to 2 minutes, and you're already telling me how much better your eyes
Yeah.
are.
Wow.
I had one lady, I brought a beamer to a fair, and I was primarily doing Shungite.
Yes.
And I said, I brought a beamer here. She goes, what's that? And I said, it's going to fix your eyes. I said, are you in? She goes, yes. And I said, well, I brought it here specifically for someone, and I believe that person is you. So she goes, okay, let's do it. So I had her look at a sign across the building
Yes.
that you could barely see, and then I gave her the treatment, and she goes, I can read that sign now. I
Wow.
saw her 2.5 weeks later, and I said, are you wearing your glasses yet? And she goes, nope.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. She dropped her glasses at the show and never put them on for 2.5 weeks.
Unbelievable.
And up until that point, she hadn't used them again.
Wow.
Okay, that's how much it affected her. Because if your meridian's weak and you just pop it open, well, there's your eye problem.
Yeah.
And that optometrist isn't going to go there.
No, that's right. Wow.
You know, that's the last thing he wants. He wants to sell you new glasses.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to say, well, we could fix that in a minute.
Well, that's unbelievable in regards to the beamer. Yeah.
Yeah. So you use the beamer like all the tools. You use them directly on the body.
Yes.
If you hurt somewhere, pick a device.
Yeah.
Any one of them is going to give you a charge and an improvement.
Yes. Yes. So.
And
yeah.
I like to use the beamer together with a ring. I'll just lay a beamer into a ring and aim it at my hips because I do a lot of grinding with the
Yes.
the manufacturing.
Yes.
So you're doing tedious work, repetitive work. Well, you get sore. So I'm my best customer. I couldn't be without my devices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still do what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just lay a beamer on top of a ring,
Yes.
sun ring, and then aim it at my hips.
Yep.
And they can be brutal sore when I start. And,
Yep.
if I do it overnight,
Yep.
you wake up in the morning, you're just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Happens virtually every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm surrounded with devices. I use them all day long, so to
Yes.
speak,
Yes. Yep.
one way or another.
Yep. Yep.
And then I'm in the field as I make them too. So I've been with Heather 28 years, and she says, you've never had a cold.
Wow.
I go, no, I don't get them.
Nah.
If you were a bug, would you like to be buzzed like this all day long?
Exactly. Whoa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay.
So there's a built-in immunity the more energy you have.
Yes.
And I have a large auric field, which
Yes.
I've had people try and measure to verify it. And like
Yes.
they say, how can you have such a large auric field? And I go, well, I make energy tools.
Yes.
What would you expect?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You're around them all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So, in regard,
I mean,
yeah.
my wife will get a cold on occasion. She'll get a bit of a sniffle.
Yes.
And say, oh, I'm getting cold. Well, we don't stop kissing.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah. So you're not getting any bugs from her. So yeah, there we go. Yeah. Wow.
No. In fact, I go shopping yesterday, and the guy who beside me says, "Oh, am I getting too close?" I says, "I couldn't be less worried about the coronavirus."
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you just
I feel the same
you
way.
want to do.
Yeah.
I said, "I couldn't be less worried."
Yeah. I feel the same way too, Wayne. It's just like when you have these tools around, and I've got a lot of your products and other energy tools as well. But when you have these around and you incorporate them as part of your life, it's just life just transforms in a completely different way, and you're not scared of these things anymore, like the coronavirus and all these sorts of things.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not as scared of virus, and I'm not as scared of scams. So where does that leave you?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because this is both.
Yeah.
It is a virus, but it's also a scam.
Exactly. There's a lot of fear being pushed around because of it. Yeah, for sure. Now, I just wanted to quickly, just the kind of last 10 minutes of the interview, is just talk about the Ankh and the G, the other couple of tools that you make.
Okay. I just make a wire Ankh
Yes.
because it's inexpensive.
Yes.
And easy to make. And then I played it with the gold, and it's at the 4th octave of gold.
Yes.
And my first encounter with an Ankh, when I first made them, it was from guidance. They said, make some Ankhs. And I go, I had Ankhs on the brain. And I kept saying, I'm going to make some Ankhs. And finally I did. And so I made 7 of them.
Yes.
And I took them to the next psychic fair that I was going to.
Yes.
And I go to put them on the table, and guidance said, not yet. And I said, okay. I said, how am I supposed to sell them? They said, you'll know when to bring them out.
Yes.
So I brought, a couple people came, and they checked. So I said, I've got an Ankh under the table here, and I'll bring it out if you're okay with that. And they said, sure. So I placed them. They said, what do you do with it? And I said, well, we're going to place it over your heart chakra and see what happens, okay?
Yes.
Well, they'd have a breakdown.
Wow.
They'd have a breakdown.
Wow.
And I'd say, well, so this one group of girls came, 3 of them, and one of them, I saw the Ankh, and she says, what is that? And I said, it's an Ankh. And she says, well, what can you do with it? And I says, well, I'll demonstrate it to you as long as you're okay with crying in public in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
She looks at me. The 2 girls who were friends, one of them outright laughed and said, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. The other one was stunned, and I looked at her and I said, are you in? She goes, I'm in.
Yeah.
So I took the Ankh and I handed it to the lady who was helping me, and I said, in 12 minutes she's going to be crying.
Yeah.
She'll need you.
Yeah.
Could you look after her?
Yeah.
Because we had a busy fair.
Yeah.
And because I can't stand there for 12 minutes and wait. So 12 minutes goes by. I look over there. She's crying her face off. My lady helper has got her arms around her. The other 2 girls are speechless.
Yes.
And she's looking at me, shaking her head up and down, saying, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
And the other 2 girls are saying, what did you do to her? And I said, she'll explain to you.
Yeah.
And then a couple of other people said, well, what happened to that lady, that girl? And I said, you have an actual, it's like a barrier over your heart chakra. So if you've had a hard lifetime,
Yes.
Let's say you got abused in your last lifetime.
Yes.
Well, you have a little hardened heart from that, I bet.
Yes.
And it carries over. So there's a crust that builds up eventually.
Yes.
And the Ankh, if you have openness and intent and you're ready for it, the Ankh will break that crust.
Yes.
And it's a traumatic experience because when I did mine, I cried for 20 minutes.
Wow.
I couldn't stop crying for 20 minutes.
Wow.
So it's a serious event when it happens.
Yeah.
And you can get a mild event or you can get a down and dirty event.
Yeah, yeah.
And the ones that I had made these for, they all got down and dirty events where just the crust breaks and you're in its tears.
Yes, yes, yes.
But that's how profound it is.
Yes.
So from opening the heart, it's a great tool. One on your back, one on your chest, and you're going for a ride.
Yes, yes.
While I'm in my room talking to you, I have 9 Ankhs facing me.
Yes.
Right now in my bedroom.
Yeah.
One of them is about 10 inches
Yes.
in gold.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. And they're placed,
Yes.
if you have ley lines
Yes.
or negative energy lines,
Yes.
you put an Ankh where it comes in.
Yeah.
If you know the direction of it, put the Ankh where it's coming in, right where it's coming in,
Yes.
and it'll block it.
Wow.
And your room will be energetically balanced way better than
Yeah.
before.
Wow.
If you put 2 Ankhs opposing each other, just pick 2 walls, and one on the left, one on the right,
Yep.
and face the Ankhs to each other, you'll do a big improvement on the room. If you do that again on the other 2 walls, so you've got all 4 done, it's way better.
Wow.
And then if you fine-tune them by placing them on any of the ley lines that would go through that area,
Yes.
then it's even better yet.
Yes.
So they really can clean up a room.
Wow.
You can make a room like really perfectly balanced with the Ankhs.
Nice.
You may need a bunch,
Yeah.
you may need a couple,
Yes.
but 2 of them do lots of work.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. What the way that I use them, Wayne, is very much. I use them to anywhere, like you said, breaking the crust off someone's heart or heart chakra is anywhere where there's a blockage of energy flow, and I use the Ankh, and it just enables energy flow through.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you hurt, any energy tool that I make
Yeah.
will help. So that's why I say, well, what one do I use for this?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be different each time
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Because what frequency you're needing to break the crust or make the opening, it can change.
Yes. That's
So
right.
I like to surround myself with all the tools, and whatever one checks for that event, that's what I use.
Yes. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're about to talk about the
And
G.
the G,
Yeah.
yeah, the G, for some reason, the G, because of its geometry, creates like a vortex.
Yes.
And that vortex is kind of like a bit of a Mr. Clean, because it seems to be like a negative vacuum to negative field.
Okay. Yep.
It just vacuums negative fields.
Yes.
Okay? And so if you place a G in a corner, usually the southeast corner
Yes.
of a room,
Okay.
doesn't have to be there, but there'll be one quadrant in a room that will be the best place.
Okay.
The worst place is still going to do a good job, but if you fine-tune it, you want it in the southeast corner.
Yes.
And if you were standing in the middle of the room, then the G would look like a G. So you place it so it appears as a G.
I see.
Wherever you put it.
Yep.
You can put it underneath the dresser or behind a picture or wherever you want if you want to hide it.
Yep.
But it's a room balancer.
Yes.
And it just does different things than the Ankhs do. The Ankhs are really good for a ley line,
Yes.
but the G's not as good.
Okay. I
It'll
see.
help.
Yes.
But for a ley line, I'll use an Ankh, and for general improvement, I use the G.
I see. Yep. Yep.
G for general.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory there,
And
the old
then
G.
everything works better. Sorry, everything works better with a quartz crystal.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, doesn't
Yes.
matter what device you have. If you add a quartz crystal to it, it will be better.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Same with Shungite.
yeah, yeah.
Shungite does not like any other stone except quartz.
Ah, well, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other stone is contra to Shungite.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just interferes. See, you can program Shungite to be whatever you want.
Yes.
One of my demos, if I do a Shungite show,
Yes.
which I do once a year, for one of my dealers, they go to it, and they're in Edmonton, so I come there. I hang out for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. Yep.
And what I do is I like to have, they have a lot of different stones there, and then I have my little Shungite section. And whatever is next to me, I'll say, here, feel this stone. Okay, say
Yes.
amethyst last time. So here, feel this piece of amethyst, and feel this piece of Shungite.
Yes.
They're different? Yes. Clearly different? Oh yeah, they're definitely different stones.
Yes.
I say, okay, see how they both feel different, right?
Yeah.
Then I'll ask the Shungite, I'll put the Shungite and the amethyst piece together, and I'll touch them,
Yes.
and say, okay, Shungite, be the amethyst. And then I'll hand it to the guy or girl and say, can you tell the difference between these two stones now from the feeling point of view? And they can't, because they're the same.
Wow.
So Shungite can be whatever you ask it to be.
Yeah.
And it can do the best job of any stone. If you ask quartz, it will give it a good attempt. It'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
But it'll never touch Shungite.
No. No.
Shungite, the best stone.
Yeah.
And I've been dealing with stones since the early, mid '80s.
Wow.
Is when I started.
Yeah.
And the reason I got Shungite is because it works so good with the devices.
Yeah.
Because I basically don't do the fairs anymore.
Yes.
I don't, and so I don't need a lot of stones around.
Yes.
So, but when I saw Shungite and what it does, the guy brought it over to my house and he says, "So what do you think of this?" And I go, "I don't really care for it."
Yeah.
And he says, "Why?" And I said, "Well, these ones are tumbled and they're polished, so
Yeah.
I don't like that."
Yes.
I said, "But I tell you what I do know is I need a five-inch sphere as fast as I can get it."
Yes.
And it has to be at least 5 inches big.
Yeah.
That's how this stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
But not polished.
Yes.
Not polished.
Yeah. 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 Seems to change it. Yeah. When they're polished.
Well, when they're polished, it puts a skin on it.
Yes. Yeah. I see.
So it's like me putting a pillow and saying breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I got
True.
a pillow over your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand.
You know, you can do it, but it's not easy.
Yeah. That's right.
So to me, that's what polishing does. It makes it look pretty, but then you basically sterilized it.
Yeah. 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 Good. That's a
To
really good way of
not
saying it.
100% by any means, but it's nowhere near as good.
No.
I mean, why cut off one of your feet and try to walk?
Exactly, and that's a lot of the reasons why you get a crystal, especially for healing, is for its qualities, not the way it looks like. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't buy it. I mean, it's nice if it's pretty, but you don't buy it because it's pretty.
Yeah.
You buy it because it's got the vibration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then what is Shungite? It's C60. So you've got 60 atoms, which is a huge molecule.
Yes.
And you've got the spherical structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Geodesic sphere structure.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you go from there?
Yeah.
There's nowhere up.
Yeah.
That's the max.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Shungite's got that geometry at molecular level,
Wow.
where the other ones don't.
Wow.
So that's why it's got a capacity. Because see, the consciousness goes in the molecule.
Yes.
It's not so the more complex and bigger it is, then the more consciousness space. It's like having a bigger brain.
Yes. Yes. Interesting that you mentioned that, Wayne, is because at the moment, like in the nutritional supplement world, the activated charcoal, but the C60 component of that variety is a big thing at the moment. So it's interesting that you mentioned that about Shungite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had a phone call question yesterday. Do I do C60 in olive oil, or do I do C60?
Yes.
And then my answer was all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they looked at me and said, well, you mean you in the oil? And I says, well, no, you can add oil if you like.
Yes.
Okay, it's just a carrier.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
C60 comes from the Shungite.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you put Shungite water or Shungite rocks in your water,
Yeah.
then you're drinking C60 all day long.
Wow. Very true.
Another reason I don't get colds.
Yeah. Yeah.
For, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get them before Shungite, but I sure don't get them now.
Yeah. That's an awesome tip. Yeah, no doubt about it. Wow.
Yeah, so the C60 is really, really, really therapeutic. I mean, if you know the history of Shungite, the Romanov family attributes their existence to Shungite because the great grandma, she couldn't conceive at all, and they sent her to the Shungite location, and she conceived after that.
Wow.
And then the grandson was running the army, and there was a flu bug, like a coronavirus, going around, killing everybody.
Yes.
And so he realized that his soldiers, when he went there, he was sick.
Yes.
And he got cured within 3 months being on the water.
Yeah.
Because he had some serious issues. And then after that, he became head of the army because he was family. And he made it mandatory for all the soldiers to have Shungite in their water jugs.
Yes.
So when the virus was going through Europe, he was fighting weak armies. So he just smoked everybody and made the Russian Empire as big as it is.
Yeah.
And it was because of Shungite.
Oh my
If he
God.
wouldn't have had Shungite, he wouldn't have done that. He'd be a little horse town in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Wow.
In the middle of Siberia.
Yeah, that's
where
incredible.
He'd be. There'd be no Russia as we know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's
So to me,
powerful.
that's a pretty neat story about how good Russia is.
Oh.
In Russia, Shungite sold in drugstores, not rock stores,
Wow. Wow.
because it's therapeutic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So I drink Shungite water for quite a few years now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
If you get water,
Yes.
you neutralize it with this neutralization ring.
Yep.
And then you charge it with a beamer with Shungite
Yes.
on the shaft of the beamer into the water.
Yep.
And then you put a sun ring there underneath the water
Yes.
on your jug. And then you put in your Shungite rocks
Yes.
after it's been structured with the Shungite.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes, you can tell there's Shungite. It's called fullerenes, right?
Yes.
You can tell there's fullerenes in the water
Wow.
in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Because we would run out of water at shows, and we go, what are we going to do? And I go, no problem. We'll structure Shungite first into the water, and then the Shungite, then the fullerene production will be greatly improved, and we could have water that was 20 minutes baked, and people would go, wow, this is amazing water.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So again, the combination of energy tools and Shungite was a hot combination.
Oh yeah.
Because see, the Shungite holds the consciousness really well.
Yes.
So you can say, fix my hip or
Yes.
and the consciousness holds into the Shungite.
Yeah.
So if you just use the beamer, well, you have to maintain that consciousness.
Wow. Wow.
Where with the Shungite there, it's like having a chip that's programmed.
Yes. Now, Wayne, I've got a question in regards to Shungite. Like, like a lot of other crystals, they need to be cleared. So you'd use like a neutralization ring to clear it. So do you have to clear out Shungite as well at times using the neutralization ring?
I do this demo. Okay. If you hurt somewhere, I'll take a slab of Shungite.
Yes.
And I'll put it on the spot that hurts.
Yes.
And before I do that, I'll give you the Shungite.
Yes.
And say, here, feel how heavy this is.
Yes.
So I clear it, and then I hand it to you and say, Chris, feel how heavy it is.
Yes.
Then I'll put it on the sore spot for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull it off, and I'll hand you back the Shungite, and it will weigh like twice as much.
Wow.
And you go, how can that be?
Yeah.
And then I'll put it on the neutralization ring for 3 seconds,
Yeah.
and then it's like right again. And you put it back on the sore spot,
Yeah.
and in 30 seconds it's loaded again.
Yeah.
And they go, well, how? You mean you have to clear it every 30 seconds? And I go, thank you.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah.
Because people have a hard time getting their head wrapped around the fact that you've got to clear the stone every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If you're using it that way,
Yes.
you've got to clear it every 30 seconds.
Yes.
If you're using it for water,
Yes.
you throw it in your water jug and it picks up EMF, because that's one of the things it does.
Yes.
So it's just sitting beside your fridge, which is the best source of EMF in your house.
Yes.
And then you next to on the kitchen counter. And then after a week, you're going to phone me and you're going to say, this water is horrendous.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I can't drink it anymore.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be good water.
Yeah.
And my response is, go and get the photocopy of the neutralization ring that I gave you.
Yeah.
And tape it to the bottom of the jug like I told you.
Yeah.
And then your problem will be solved.
Yeah.
Okay? So what I did is you take a photocopy of the neutralization ring,
Yes.
because the neutralization ring does it in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, if after 30 minutes, that's like really, really overkill. It'd be like you vacuuming the same spot for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, give it a break.
Wow.
So the Shungite will actually, if you tune into it, it does not like that after 3 seconds.
I see.
So clear it, and then you're done. But if you use a photocopy of the neutralization ring,
Yes.
and you tape it to the bottom of your jug, then it's way, way less powerful, so you can dedicate it there, and then you never have to worry about clearing your Shungite.
I
And
see.
you're always at optimum.
Yes.
So
Wow.
that's my solution.
Yeah. What a great idea.
Okay, but do you have to clear Shungite? Yes, more than any other stone.
Yes.
And every other stone, when I would do the fairs,
Yes.
I would do a demo where I would use a stone on a pain spot, and I would clear it every 30 seconds.
Wow.
Because I've been making the neutralization ring for, 25 years.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. And if you pick a stone and it's not clear when you pick it, you don't know what you have.
Yes.
And then you use it, and people would say, my stone doesn't work anymore. And I go, no, you stopped thinking.
Yeah.
I told you, first you remembering.
Yeah.
So you've got to clear the stone. When I would sell stones, I would try to hammer that home. And lots of people would just go, oh, no, I don't clear my stones.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't do anything. And then if you've got a stone that you've never cleared and it's in a ring, I'll go, let me show you how weak that finger's getting from your ring.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Because you don't clear the stone, it holds negative energy.
Yeah.
So instead of having nothing there, you've got a nice negative energy source.
Yes.
So how can your finger be healthy?
Yeah. Very true.
It can't.
That's it. It can't. No.
Not compared to what it could be.
Yeah.
So I'll compare it to, one other finger. And
Yeah.
the other finger's better always.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very important. It's a super question.
Yeah.
Do I need to clear my stones, and how often?
Yes.
As often as you can
Yes.
is the answer.
Yes. Great. All right.
Now, what you can do, because you have consciousness that
Yes.
others wouldn't have,
Yes.
you can go to a level where you can ask the consciousness, go in and merge with the consciousness of the stone,
Yes.
and ask it to stay permanently clear.
Wow.
That's doable. That's doable to a degree.
Yes.
And when I do it with Shungite, it will put up a barrier and it will stay clear,
Yep.
but it's not as powerful.
Yeah. I see.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
not quite as good. So I do it with my house stuff because I just have so much to clear here.
Yes.
So when I add a new piece in the house, I give it that download. So
Right.
I don't clear my own stones.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've done it once, and about once a year I do an upgrade.
Yeah. I see.
But if I'm going to treat you, then I'm going to clear. I'm going to clear every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Definitely. So you can get the greatest effect and outcome and the healing.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I had a Charlie horse that I was going to go to the hospital for because I couldn't hardly stand it.
Yeah.
And I was hobbling around, and I glanced on a piece of, I had a Shungite brick, and I go, oh, I can reach it.
Yeah.
So I grabbed it, and I put it on it, and while I was yelling at the top of my voice because I was hurting.
Yes.
My wife comes running, and she says, after 14 minutes, because she laid down in bed beside me, she says, how is it? And I poked it, and I couldn't make it hurt.
Wow.
14 minutes after I was ready to go to the hospital,
Yeah.
and that's the last place on earth that I want to go to.
Yeah, fair enough too.
And yeah, and so that's how effective it was. It took a Charlie horse completely out, 100%, in 14 minutes.
Oof.
I didn't even know I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think if I was a hockey player or anybody in any of the rough sports, I would have Shungite within arm's distance.
Yeah.
Because it pulls pain really well. I mean, a little piece isn't going to do a lot, but like what they call a brick.
Yes.
You know, a brick it's the size of a normal brick.
Yes.
And that's a big chunk of Shungite,
Oof.
and that will really draw.
Yeah.
And then you clear it every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a lot of work in 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well.
But you got to have the ring there to clear it that well.
Yeah.
See,
That's right.
And if you talk to the Shungite people, they're going to say, well, go put it in the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, come back tomorrow then.
It'd take that long, yeah, no.
And I actually did that. I put my the very first load of Shungite that I got, I put it in the sun because I wanted to see how well that would work. And I left it in the sun for 2 days after the show. And then I took one piece and I go, yeah, it's a lot lighter. And then I took a neutralization ring, put it on that, and then I handed it to my wife and I said, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yes. Yeah.
The sun works, but 2 days is too long and not good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
So
too long to wait.
the neutralization ring is the best way to clear that I'm aware of.
Yes.
And I've been into metaphysics for 35 years.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of stuff.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Wayne. I better end it there. I've got clients today to do sessions with. So, but thank you very much for your time, Wayne. This has been unbelievable going through all your tools and all the wisdom of of what 30-something years. So, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, well, thank you for your interest and your time, too. And if you need any questions answered, give me a shout.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you're open to doing another interview at some time, and we can talk about a few other points, that'd be great. I know you're busy, so.
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Hugs. Bye-bye.